Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ming Chen. It's my favorite time of year again, although it's really all year now. But convention season. I am here to tell you that they're back, everybody, and I'm happy that I get somewhere to go this weekend, which is Lakeland, Florida, the RP Funding Center for Central Florida Comic Con. And I have my good friend, and who happens to just be the convention promoter and founder, Ben Penrod. Everybody is here. What's going on, my friend?
Not too much, man. I mean, well, I'm pretty busy actually, getting everything ready for the con, trying to figure out. It's been a year and a half since I've worked on a convention before. Oh no, am I freezing on you?
Yeah, that's all right. I can still hear you though. So is that,
Okay.
yeah, continue.
So it's been a year and a half since I've worked on a convention, so I'm, trying to make sure I don't forget anything. I feel like there's like little things that are like second nature to me that now I have to kind of think about and be like, oh, did I remember to do that or no?
I can't even imagine. And actually, kind of the fact that you're in the con game again is somewhat surprising. A lot of people out there know you as the founder of Awesome Con in Washington D.C., which I've been to countless Comic Cons. One of the best ones out there. Uh, I went so much. I think I even like snuck in one year. Like it was like I was having so much fun.
I think you just like popped up behind me. I'm like, what? Oh, well, Ming's here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I didn't get kicked out, so that was good on my part.
We wouldn't do that to you. We wouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, I could have at least asked or bought you dinner or something. Um, but it went so well that I ended up selling it, which was amazing. And I was like, all right, well, he's sold it. He's off to fulfill, I don't know, to run marathons around China or something. I wasn't really sure. And then I found out that you're back in the convention game, and I love it. But I know you got your start in Annapolis, right?
Yeah.
Like a little con in Annapolis.
Yeah. So I started. I grew up in Annapolis in Maryland. So I started the first Annapolis Comic Con in like 2011. So like 10 years ago with my friend Steve from Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, and so we were early business partners. We have another show in Southern Maryland that we started, and then we launched Awesome Con in 2013, and then I sold that a few years ago, and then I stopped working on it full time in 2018.
And so I thought, all right, well, he got to the pinnacle, which was selling the convention to
Yeah.
someone bigger, and then just kind of like, all right, I'll just be a fan now, right? Like I don't have to lose sleep, I don't have to worry about travel budgets and all this other stuff. And then so I was like, wow, he's back. So to me, there's a line from like the movie Rounders where it's like, listen, you can do whatever, you can't run from who you truly are, and that's I love that. I love that about you. I actually spent 4 years in Maryland when I was starting out. My first job was in the Northern Virginia, Maryland area.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I would go to Annapolis because there's a really good Irish bar there called McGarvey's with really great crab.
Yeah.
I was hooked on those crab balls. But I looked around Annapolis and I didn't think of it particularly as a place where you'd hold a Comic Con. Like I never thought it's like, oh, it's all naval students, people from the Naval Academy, right?
Yeah.
We're the nerds. But what I failed to think of was that a lot of the naval cadets are nerds, and so so you kind of have that built-in audience. I was like, man, that's smart, man. And then
like growing up, I grew up in Annapolis, and so it didn't seem, it just was where I lived. I didn't realize there was anything weird about it. I just thought every city had like sailboats all over the place. And, but I saw this, the Naval Academy midshipmen, and they were, always, I was a kid, so they were so much older than me, and they were like full grown adults. And now I'm much older, and I look, and they're all kids now. I look, and they're teenagers, and they're like early 20s, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But yeah, we definitely get a lot of the midshipmen. If they have the time off, they can come out to the con in Annapolis. It's just a small one-day show. It's nothing too crazy, but but it's a lot of fun, and we know that Annapolis is a really great town for comics, as the success of Third Eye Comics has shown.
Yeah, and then so Florida, like you actually live down there now, right?
Yeah, I moved to Florida in 2014.
And so after the sale of AwesomeCon, what made you jump into opening up another string of successful conventions? If Central Florida, I think you have one in Alaska, and
Yeah, I got
Minnesota. I'm hearing Des Moines. I mean, did you just get the itch back again?
So, yeah, I guess so. These shows, Central Florida and Alaska, are a little bit smaller, and they're with AwesomeCon, I got burnt out after a while. I will say the first 3 or 4 years I really relished that work, and I love to work hard, and I love to put everything into these shows, but I got really burnt out after a while because it's a lot. It's managing tens of thousands of people is a lot of work, and there's a lot of preparation, and it really was really mentally hard on me. And after I had taken a few years where I really didn't do much as far as running cons, I found this venue in Lakeland, the RP Funding Center, which is this beautiful kind of smaller convention center. They have an arena. The backstory on this arena is amazing. Before Orlando and Tampa were really huge vacation destinations, before they were big cities, this arena in the 70s and 80s was where like all the rock acts would go on tour when they needed to come to Central Florida. This is where like all the big wrestling events would be. I was like Googling the history of the arena, and like Motley Crue toured at this arena with Guns N' Roses opening for them in the late 80s. Like
so
this is
cool. I guess like the tune-up venue where they would go and it'd be a smaller show and they could just work on
whatever. So the arena is 8,000 or 9,000 people.
Yeah,
this is this Orlando and Tampa didn't have any sports teams. They didn't have their own arenas.
Oh, wow.
So this was early days before there was Disney World probably existed, but it was still pretty young, and so people would drive from we're 45 minutes from Orlando, 45 minutes from Tampa, and so people would drive from Orlando or Tampa, and they'd come and this would be the stop on the tour in this part of Florida before they went to Miami or whatever. And so this arena is really great, and then at some point they built the convention center around it, and it's a pretty modern facility, really nice. And I knew about it, and I was like, I gotta run something there. I don't know. I just, whenever I see a good building, I'm like, I gotta do something in this building. And so we started Central Florida Comic Con in 2019. That went pretty well. We did it again. We managed to get it in last year in January.
Yep, I saw that.
That was great. Last year's Central Florida Con was so fun, and we really just had an amazing time. More people showed up than I could have possibly imagined. Then we got hit by a pandemic, and we had to push this year's show to June. So yeah. So
I think this might work out great though. I think the kids are just getting out of school, and I mean, location wise, so I in all of my travels, the one place that I really always wanted to go to and I never got to was Tampa, and thanks to you, I'm going to come out a little bit and hang out in Tampa for a little bit. But then I was like, holy crap, Lakeland's like smack dab in the middle of Orlando and Tampa. It's like the perfect nexus of geekdom.
It's right there on I-4. If you're driving, if you've driven between Orlando and Tampa, you may not have stopped in Lakeland, but you've seen the signs, and it's actually a good sized city on its own. Maybe 70 or 80,000 population, which is, great. And then you've got people that can easily come in from Orlando or Tampa.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I was a Detroit Tigers fan, and I think that's where their spring training facility is. Yeah, and I was always like, oh man, I want to go to the magical Lakeland place one day, and
I just drove past that baseball stadium the other day.
Really, that's awesome. Yeah, I grew up in Michigan, so I grew up an old school, like in the '80s. I was a big Detroit Tigers fan, so I would always see like spring training news or stats from Lakeland. So it's kind of cool that I'm going to be there in like 4 days,
Yeah, man.
which is amazing. So wait, so this will be the third year then.
Yes.
All right, so that means the first 2 years went well enough that
Yeah.
that you're able to the third year and yeah, and potentially make it bigger and better. So that's cool. What's nerddom like in Lakeland? Are there comic book shops? Do
Yeah.
people play Magic there? Are there cosplayers?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have. I know in Lakeland, outside of Comic Con stuff, there's a number of comic shops. There's some game shops which have popped up. I know, and tabletop gaming has absolutely exploded over the past 2 or 3 years, and probably the past year even more so.
Yeah.
And then so we've got at the con, we'll have a tabletop gaming room. We've got a number, panel rooms and stuff, and then we've got at least 25 comic dealers coming in, and so we're going to be full of comics and games, and I'm just really hyped for it. I'm so ready.
That's awesome. And yeah, so it's running all day Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, I think 10 to 6.
10 to 6.
Sunday, 10 to 4.
10 to 4 on Sunday.
That's awesome. And I because a lot of people ask me, like, are these things coming back? And 6 months ago, I was like, listen, I don't know. It's
6 months ago, I didn't know.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine that you had to drop down deposits and order wristbands and badges and T-shirts and God knows what else. So I can't even imagine. I don't even know if you have T-shirts with like the previous date on them that you had to. That I don't know where those are going to wind up.
I think we stopped doing. I think early on in the years ago, I stopped putting the dates on the T-shirts. Now we'll make a different T-shirt for each year, so it's got to look cool. That's important. But I think at a certain point we just stopped putting the dates on it because you're basically putting an expiration date on your T-shirts and then you order them. And even if you have even if you only have 5 or 10 that haven't sold, if it doesn't have a date on it, you could sell it next year.
Yeah, and we were talking about how we just get stuff that takes up space. Like that's one of the things. The dated T-shirts.
Yeah.
In like multiple sizes, but that's something you learn from running years of conventions. Like, you know what? Let's not put the dates on these anymore. Let's if we don't, we can keep selling these, or if something changes, we'll be okay. That's
yeah.
That's hilarious. And so I guess I imagine it must be good, a lot easier running a con in your own backyard. Although you've had to expand it to like Alaska, and because you're a nut, man.
Some of it's easier, but it doesn't. I mean, for me, I don't think it matters too much. I love to travel, so I do have to have I have to be on the ground a little bit. Like let's say for the Alaska con, about a month beforehand, I'll do a trip up there and make sure I visit all the game stops and comic shops and meet up with all of the volunteers who help us out and some of the exhibitors, and just kind of meet up with everybody and make sure we get our advertising all over town and things like that. But most of the stuff that we do is I work out of the house. It's all on the internet at this point and on Google Docs. So I don't necessarily need to be in person in the town too much.
Yeah, I think it might be slightly easier now. Everyone's using Zoom now, so it's like you don't have to be in person anymore. I mean, what's the? I guess what I'm trying to figure out, the reaction from the town. I'm hoping ticket sales are going pretty well. I'm hoping there's a lot of walk up, obviously, because that means everybody will win. I guess I'm just trying to get the air of people. I imagine at this point people are just dying to go back to something like this, and so because we didn't have this for like 16 months, and I imagine people are like, holy crap, they're back. Like I'm going no matter what.
Yeah, I think so. Our ticket sales, pre-sales are pretty strong for this year. I had no idea what to. I really came into it with no expectations. I told, I'd have exhibitors that are like, oh, how many people do you usually have at this show? And I'd be like, well, I I don't think that even matters.
Yeah.
I could, normally I can be like, hey, we're expecting, 10% growth or whatever. This year, I don't know. If everybody comes out and has fun, I'll be happy. But I have been really pleasantly surprised with our ticket pre-sales. This doesn't look like I'm going to lose any money on this show, which is
kind of the goal, right?
yeah. Well,
one of the goals.
Pandemic, normally like I need to make a certain amount of money. I've got, outside bills to pay, but for this show, it was kind of like, hey, if I can get through this without losing anything, that would be great. I just need to, we need to start rebounding from the pandemic, but things look really good. I'm expecting a strong attendance based on the ticket pre-sales. We're about where we were, a few days out from our 2020 show.
Okay.
And so
that's great.
If we're tracking about the same, I feel really good about that. I was really expecting very low pre-sales and maybe a surprisingly good walk-up, but
right, just kind of like a wait and see kind of approach. And
absolutely, but it looks like we're doing good pre-sales, and people are so hyped to get back to the show. I've been cautiously optimistic with the COVID numbers in Florida, which are dropping like crazy. As people are getting vaccinated. So I'm excited about, I feel better about running the show in what seems like a more safe environment too.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw you sold all your exhibitor booths, right?
Yeah, we've been sold out for a few weeks. So
right,
the exhibitors are really, really hyped to get back to doing shows. So we've been sold out for a while, and that's probably the best thing for me is that that's just a bunch of planning that I can get done early.
That's awesome. I'm about to try to get you one more here. Ryan Carryware says I might be a walk up this weekend. I'm only 15 minutes away.
Yes,
dude, turn that might into will. Because Ryan's a long time. He's pops in on most of our streams. I'd love to see you there. 50 minutes. Come on, man. We were cooped up for 16 months.
Yeah, man. I'm 50 minutes away.
Dying for an opportunity to just geek out for a little bit. It was looking pretty dark, man. About a year ago, I was, what I like about you is you travel to other conventions as well to research, to improve, and I just love going, and there was a moment I was like, man, what if it's never like that again? Because we didn't know, but we've been to a couple shows since, and it just feels like old times again, which make me really happy.
It was real scary. This is all I do. So for me, it was like, I was like, I thought I had pretty solid business going.
Yeah, right.
It was like, no, maybe not. It just, events more than anything, events, and then maybe like movie theaters got hit so hard. I can't, we know that no events were happening, and the ones that did were really small, and even running like a public event, trying to do it, if I had a few scheduled for last year that ended up getting canceled, obviously. And, the backlash we were getting at even, trying to plan it a few months ahead of time was a lot. Yeah. And and I didn't feel comfortable running them either, but, I'm like, well, I got to play this out. I have contracts and stuff. And then they ended up getting canceled. But, for me, it was scary times, man. Yeah. But I'm so hyped to get back. I feel like, I've been to a few cons in the past month or so. It seems like everything went really well. Everybody was having a great time. It didn't seem like there were too many problems. And, so I'm just really, really excited to get back to work.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, it's like that one huge party you've been planning for a year, and it gets getting pushed back and pushed back. And then finally you're allowed to have it. It's like, all right, we're going all out on this one. Let's have fun. So Ryan Carryware, for you, Ming, I'm in. See you there. Okay. We got it. Thank you. And Yeah.
I'll say hi to you too.
Ryan, I'm going to bring down something special for you too. Just make sure you get it. And Josh, if I can swing with my wife, then I will be there. I got one better. Bring your wife, man.
Yeah, man.
Bring your wife, man. It'll be great. And Veronica Foy, who is a cosplay guest at Central Florida Comic Con,
Yeah.
who I podcasted with a couple weeks ago. I can't wait to see you, Veronica. I'm so happy you're going to be there. And I can only imagine you manifested this as well. So I just, which is awesome.
Veronica and Dave are Veronica and her husband Dave are big supporters. I think they've been coming to Central Florida Con since the first year.
Awesome.
And they also helped me out at shooting a video to promote a Kickstarter for my a new show that I'm running called StarCon in September.
That's awesome. You definitely check out her booth. She's under the cosplay name Corrupted V.
Yeah.
And she stands out a little bit, so you won't be able to miss her at the convention for sure. I think like when you asked me if I would come down, like I think immediately I was like, dude, of course I'm in. Was it tough booking guests, or I imagine a lot of them are just also dying to just go to shows as well. A lot of these are longtime friends of both of us. I've seen them at your other shows, so this is why you keep good relations with people. You know.
So for me, it was yes and no. Like the Central Florida Comic Con isn't the biggest show in the world, so I didn't have to, if I needed to book 20 or 30 celebrity guests, then I would have had problems. But it's, it's 5, 6, 7 celebrity guests is typically what we do.
Right.
So, I was able to kind of make some stuff work. And then I think I saw that you were going to be at Pensacon. I'm like, Ming's doing cons again. So I just reached out and I was like, hey, why don't you come down to this show? And that would be great, and then we've got, Kyle Phillips and Kara Eberly, who are 2 great voice actors. We've got Karen Ashley and Paul Schreier, who are both from Power Rangers.
Yeah, it would be great because I think I see Karen like maybe 10 times a year, and which is great because she's And Paul bump into every often. Paul I actually ran into. He used to work for General Giant, and I got a tour, and he was over there like painting or something, and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. You're here now. This is great. This is cool. So but I love conventions. You also got George Lowe, who's the voice of Space Ghost.
Yeah.
He
lives in Lakeland, so he comes to our show every year. He's amazing.
Oh man! All right, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think he'd be offended if he wasn't asked.
Yeah, and he does our. I got him to record our radio spot.
I mean, can you get a better voice? I don't think so.
No, it's perfect. I'm gonna get him to even. I'm gonna reach out to him about recording our radio spots for our other shows that we're doing as well.
That's that's a good idea. Maybe I might have to put him to work for me as well. I was like, hey man, you're just talking to this phone really quick.
It's perfect.
Yeah. But the running thing with your guests here, a lot of them who I know very well and know and love very well, they're all very cool people. Like they get it. You go and meet them at a convention, they're going to give you a lot of time. They're going to tell you stories. They're going to joke around with you. I love people like that. I think it's the best. So yeah, if you come and hang out with me, like you're gonna be like you might be like, hey, like I gotta go now. I stop talking.
Like I got other celebrities to meet.
Yeah. I gotta go talk to Karen Ashley. It's like, all right, well, come back when you're done. Like you're pretty cool. I want to be friends with you. So
yeah. And for me, I probably booked 500, 600 celebrities at this point. Over the years, and that's kind of that's a theme with me and my shows is that I want celebrities who are a little more laid back and who are going to be who understand who really respect the fans and respect what it means to kind of be on the other side of the table where they are and are going to really take it very seriously and, not too seriously. You want to have fun, but take it seriously and not be, I mean, I'm a little too standoffish or whatever. And so I think for the most part, whenever I'm at a con or if I've booked somebody and I see like, oh, these guys are really great with fans, and for the most part, everybody's really good with fans, but you'll see people who are even better and who are just like amazing with fans. Those are the people I'm like, okay, I got to book them again and again and again.
Right.
And you'll kind of, if you've seen who I've booked throughout the years, you'll definitely see that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of them are coincidental. It's like, oh yeah, yeah. I see them like, 10 times a year, and we'll hang out, and yeah. Eventually, you become friends with a lot of these people, which is pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
and so I'm looking at the schedule here. If you're coming, earmark Saturday at 2 p.m. That's the Ming Chen Comic Book Men / podcasting / whatever else you want to talk about panel. Cosplay contest at 4 p.m. Saturday and 2 p.m. Sunday. If you're cosplaying, and
Yeah.
I love we now live in a day and age where, like when I was a kid, if you saw one or two cosplayers, it was awesome. Everybody else kind of looked at them like they were weird. Now, if you're not in cosplay, you're the weird one.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's awesome, and I see you have a full slate of panels too, which is great. A lot of the smaller shows are just kind of like,
Yeah. No.
But these are really, this is a full slate, like 2 rooms full of panels both days.
Yeah. So we have 3 rooms full of panels both days, and then we have our tabletop gaming room is also running concurrently also. So that does set us apart a little bit from this is, I like to consider it a medium-sized convention. It's smaller than, it's smaller than like in Florida, we've got MegaCon and Tampa Bay Comic Con. So we're smaller than those guys. Yeah. Those are crazy. And those are more like Awesome Con sized.
Right.
And then, but then there's also like kind of the one-day shows where it's a lot of guys with long boxes and things like that, which I also love. I run, my Annapolis Comic Con is very similar to that. And I love those shows, but this is a little bit more than that. And usually it's in January, which is just the perfect time of year.
Oh yeah, there's nothing else going on.
There's nothing else going on. There's no other shows. I can book any celebrities I want because there aren't any other shows.
Yep.
But we're doing it in June this year. But it's still a good time because there hasn't been another con of this size or bigger since the last Central Florida Comic Con in January last year. So there hasn't been anything like this in a year and a half. I definitely wanted to make sure we came out with the panels, the full slate of panels. I think we're going to have fewer seats in the room so people can kind of keep distance.
Right.
But, and then, I wanted to make sure tabletop gaming was a big part of it because it's been such a big thing over the past year and a half. I wanted to make sure we didn't, kind of take anything for granted. I wanted to make sure we ran the real show and that everybody got, the full kind of experience.
Yeah, somebody asked me, was like, well, what makes a good con? I'm like, well, you got to have a balance of everything. Vendors, because of course I'm not walking away empty handed. I gotta buy stuff. It's in my blood. Panels and programming, gaming, cosplay contests, special media, celebrity guests, media guests, whatever you want to call them, and just a really great atmosphere. So it sounds like you got a really great balance here. And I can't wait to see it. I'm just I was just dying to go to a con again, and I'm happy that you took the effort and probably lost a lot of sleep, had a little bit of stress, and I'm just glad to see you coming back with this again, and I truly can't wait to be there. So if you're Orlando, Tampa, Lakeland. Anywhere north or south.
Daytona, Jacksonville, Miami, whatever. Come up.
Come up. It's gonna be a great time. So, thank you. Did I forget anything? Is there anything else I should mention?
I don't know. Tickets are still on sale. Buy them in advance. It'll get you in a little bit quicker. That's it, I guess.
Awesome. And I threw the URL up. It's on the screen there, but
CentralFloridaComicCon.com.
Put this up here just in case you need it spelled out again for you because
it's on Saturday and Sunday this week.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I'll be there both days, with a big smile and stories and anything else. Ming Chen panel at 2 p.m. Saturday. And yeah, if yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody come on and just being at a con again and having
Yeah,
fun. So
it's gonna
uh,
be awesome.
yeah, I mean, first of all, it's good to see you again. I saw you a few weeks back, which was really cool. And yeah, it was 3 weeks ago, and I was like, "Hey, I'll see you in 3 weeks," and it seemed like so long, so far out, and then it was like
Yeah.
that, and now
I
I'm
don't even know how time works anymore. It's been
it's a
a
good
weird
point.
time. It's
Yeah,
I don't even know.
yeah, and
But
yeah, and I'm hoping everything runs smoothly. I have no doubt it will, and
yeah,
I can't wait to be back at a Ben Penrod production again. To be honest,
awesome. Yeah, I
cool.
can't wait to see you there, man. I'm so happy.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you again. Thanks for jumping on with me right now. And yeah, if you're watching this and you're anywhere close, come on out. It's gonna be a huge party, my friends.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
All right, man. See you in a few
And
days.
thank you, everybody. Oops, sorry, hit the wrong button. All